I'm Scott, and this is episode 13 of What Makes This Map Great. This is the series where we take a deep dive into some classic games that hold a special place in my gaming heart. We're going to explore their amazing level design, beautiful art, creative combat encounters, as well as uncover their hidden secrets and see just how much they've influenced the gaming world. And in this episode, we're covering Quake E2M6, the Dismal Oubliette. All sources used for this video will be linked down in the description below. Like, sub, do all the YouTube stuff. It's greatly appreciated. Let's get into it. The Dismal Oubliette is the 6th level of episode 2, the Realm of Black Magic for Quake. And it is the final showdown of this episode, all wrapped up and presented to us by the Ledge himself, John Romero. Don't worry though, this won't be the last time we see from him. I had to look up what Oubliette means, and the name is quite fitting for a John Romero level. A secret dungeon that is only accessible through a trapdoor in its ceiling. Combine that with dismal, and we have a gloomy, forgotten dungeon. I love how Romero names his levels as if they could belong in a metal album track list. But it's also quite on theme for a Quake level. This map features a central bridge above a pit of water, and it presents 3 archways. At the start, you only have access to one path, and that's the main objective of this map. You'll be diving into an underground fortress, followed by a multi-level tower with several rooms on different floors. And at the end of each of these areas is a button that changes the bridge layout in that central hub. I'd say the biggest challenge is how tight some of these spaces get. You'll have some close encounters with ogres, fiends, and death knights. Eventually, you get access to what I'm going to call is the Dismal Oubliette of the map. It's a slow descending elevator with enemies spawning into this tight space, all while traps activate at different intervals. And of course, guarding the rune of black magic is a new enemy type. A nice final showdown for the end of this episode. To give some context for this point of the player experience in Quake, it all started at the Slipgate Complex, a military base that is home to a machine capable of dimensional travel known as the Slipgate. But an evil entity codenamed Quake sends its own forces through from the other side, defeating and turning all soldiers into mindless grunts. Ranger, the lone marine played by you, fights their way through with a mission to defeat this evil force and put an end to Quake. You step through the Slipgate and enter the dimension of the Doomed, a realm that is home to old haunted castles and dark underground caverns with monsters beyond our understanding. After conquering every obstacle, Ranger defeats Cathan, the realm's guardian, and obtains the rune of earth magic. He discovers that a rune of magical power awaits him at the conclusion of each of Quake's haunted lands. Ranger continues on to the realm of black magic, where his fight continues in pursuit of his mission, which is where our journey takes place. Let's not waste any more time, let's dive right in. We arrive in a fully enclosed room. Giant stone brick walls surround us, with a vaulted blue ceiling above. See, Quake is in all brown textures. A big difference from prior maps is this entrance is well lit. Several torches light up the room. With these supplies nearby, it feels safe. But it's an illusion. This blocker wall ahead of us hides the true intent of this place. The back of this wall hides an ancient relief of runes, skulls, and even a demonic visage with blood. In front of it is a mysterious glowing rectangle sticking out of the floor. And it must be important because a fiend guards it. To keep some distance. Let's go right. We can safely deal with the fiend from here. A barrier prevents us from moving forward. Engage with this rectangle device. A bridge has been raised. The barrier opens up as we see an L-shaped bridge rise out of the water. I love the giant fortress-like walls. They give a sense of unyielding power. Below, nice attention to detail in the use of a wet mossy brick texture helps reinforce the wet-like environment below, especially with the sound of flowing water down here. Most obvious are the 3 different entryways with their giant stone brick archways. Placing the Mega Health on one, the yellow armor on the other, creates a sense of desire to want those items. But the bridge only leads one way, unfortunately to neither of those pickups. Our only choice is to head right, towards the sound of a death knight. Watch your step on the bridge and use rockets to dispose of him quickly. We arrive at a T intersection. The sound of an ogre fills the hallway. This upcoming encounter is fairly easy. Going left, you'll alert a fiend and the scrag. The fiend will charge these steps and close the distance, while the scrag in the top corner will try to pelt you with acid spit from a distance. Interestingly, they seem to be protecting this ogre, perched in this upper alcove with a button behind it. We'll get to that later. Going right from the T hallway, another fiend hides behind some pickups. It also guards another button. This room design is quite clever. I've mentioned in the past that Romero sometimes wants the player to see what a button press does. That's the whole purpose of having these small, bar-like openings along the side wall here. Not only does it show off some cool layering of this secondary space, but you'll also notice the button raises steps out of the water, which lead up to the ogre in the alcove here. But you'll have to move quickly. They are on a timer and will descend back down into the water. I like to clear the way out first. Going left, I do a sweep of this room with the water pool. Backtrack and make our way to the fiend guarding the button. It's probably alerted to your presence. A few quick rockets and we can access the button safely. Run quickly and make your way back to the water room and up this metal stairway. We made it. A simple environment design for this room, but the gameplay button mechanic here is a fun challenge for first-timers to Quake. Now, we press the button. The wall behind us makes mechanical grinding sounds as it slowly opens to reveal a secret passage guarded by a patrolling fiend. And what a secret reveal this is. It appears to be an underground fortress. A stone brick structure is built into the rocky walls with 2 outlooking guard towers at either flank. Ogres standing by with grenade launchers primed. I'm sure there are more of them within. The combat encounter gives the ogres an advantage as they lob grenades at you from this height with some protection. Save those rockets. We'll get to them later. Also, a large pool of murky water lays below us, and upon entering it, we see a flooded entrance, as well as some waterlogged zombies. I've said it before, but I love these types of environment designs, mixing Earth-like natural spaces with structures built into its rock walls. I just get this fantasy in my mind that this fortress has endured time, and while it is partially flooded and underground, it still stands. Let's take care of the fiend from this distance with rockets. Then we'll rush to the water, take out the zombies. Going through this flooded entrance, we can see some zombie legs at the top of this ascending ramp. More rockets will clear the way. Rising out of the water, we're presented with two options. By the way, not many look up here, but I love the narrow verticality. You can even see some barred gaps up top. This fortress guards a series of 2 buttons that we need to press to progress the map. Should we go right, we face a fiend, and also discover that a bar blocks the way forward. Let's backtrack and take the left path. This left route leads to a jumping challenge, which gives you access to the second floor of this fortress. While jumping is not a huge deal in games today, they were back in the mid-90s for first-person shooters. Even in 2.5D shooters, not all of them had a jumping feature. Romero wanted to put it to good use. A scrag guards the way, and some other enemies await on the top floor, guarding a button. And we even get a peek on the opposite side of this fortress through these openings in the wall. Some ogres stand guard waiting for us. We go left. Scrags go down easily. Proceeding up the jump challenge, we alert the Death Knights and the ogre up top. Rockets. Gotta love this weapon. The third ledge opposite of the top entryway is a good spot to sidestrafe incoming attacks while shooting at the enemies. Once we climb up, we take out the fiend to the left as we dodge its leaping attack. Press the button. The bar has been drawn. We can now proceed through the right side of the fortress. May as well take out these ogres through the window. It'll make things a bit easier in the next area. This back corner with the health has a little drop back to the water tunnel. From here, we go right. If you're lucky like me, this fiend will struggle to jump to you from here. My guess is its collision box is colliding with the upper roof, as well as the stairs to the left. Though, that doesn't always happen, so proceed with caution. This side of the fortress has a series of elevators that take you up 3 floors. If we hadn't shot the ogres through the narrow windows across the way, this would prove to be a bit more challenging. Yet, at the top, we have one final ogre guarding another rectangular device like we saw at the beginning of the map. It controls the bridge in the central hub. We also have our first secret here. In Quake, you should always explore water areas. We take a dive, find some zombies, and blow them up. Tucked in this corner is a quad damage. Let's grab it and make the most of it. Swim out of the pool and go up the elevator. Continue on up this spiraling walkway, up another elevator, and let's use the double barrel on this ogre. Romero tries to surprise us and teleports another ogre behind us. Use the double barrel again. Drop down and activate the rectangle device. The center bridge has changed. The wall mechanically opens next to us, revealing the way back to the spiral walkway. And we also notice a wall to our right reveal a secret passage. An ogre charges out. You know what to do. A fiend surprises us right around the corner. Quickly swap to the double barrel to prevent giving yourself with an up-close quadded rocket. This long haul gives you some space again. Use your final quad rockets on the ogre and zombies up ahead. The quad is always fun, but the tight quarters of this fortress make it dangerous to use rockets. If you jib yourself, consider it a gameplay lesson. Romero has created a fun challenge just in this area. Even though it's just a sequence of button presses, you get to explore this dangerous underground fortress and find its secret passageways that lead you out from this upper area. Okay, let's backtrack and see what this bridge has done. Grab supplies on your way there, you'll need them. The bridge has shifted. We now have access to the yellow armor archway. So now we know the theme of this map. Each wing of the central hub will present challenges to us, which eventually leads to a switch that alters the central hub area. As a side note, imagine if the team had more time to work on Quake. Instead of isolating this to just one map, this could have been expanded to larger maps in their own regions, requiring to travel between maps to finish this objective. We saw this kind of gameplay in Hexen, as well as Quake 2. Anyways, we are presented with another T intersection. A Death Knight awaits to the right, guarding a runic barrier. Moving forward, this area is much tighter in its design. We're going to be challenged with our limited movement and use of weapons in these upcoming combat encounters. After we take out the Death Knight, the barrier here blocks our way. We return to the opposite end of the hall. This ogre guards an elevator that leads to the gold key door. Ogres normally don't do so well when they are fighting up a ramp slope. This one got me though. Maybe a sign of how sweaty it's about to get. The elevator is activated by an invisible trigger. We ride down and arrive at the lower floor of this secondary fortress. An ogre patrols. A scrag acts as support for him. The start of close quarters fighting. We get the jump on the ogre with some rockets and immediately swap to the super nail gun to take out the scrag. While tight, there are some nice angles built into this architecture. You can take either direction from the T intersection here. Let's go right. We see a Death Knight down the hall, patrolling yet doesn't notice us. To the left is an active elevator, hinting there are more areas to explore. Taking the elevator would result in dead ends, bars blocking our path on each level. We'd also alert some ogres in an enclosed space. A rough spot to be in. Let's take out the Death Knight first. We find the gold key doors, but we don't have the key yet. Also in this room, we discover a button. Press it. The second floor is accessible. Great. Now we can take the elevator and see what's on the second floor. As we wait for the elevator, the metal bars under the elevator platform are a simple representation of mechanical parts. Let's break down the next combat encounter. We ride up the elevator and go toe to toe with an ogre. And if that wasn't enough of a challenge, right down the hall are a fiend, as well as a couple of ranged ogres ready to toss grenades at you. Listening in, you'll also hear the sound of Death Knights. Lots of them. Such a narrow hallway, it really challenges you to be quick with your weapon swaps and make the most of the narrow hall. There is also a secret here. This rusted metal wall will probably take splash damage should you use any explosives during combat, and be open when you survive the fight. Okay, let's head up with super nails at the ready. Rockets when it's safe. Then dip into the secret room. Hell yeah. A mega health and a pentagram of protection. We'll definitely need this for the upcoming fights. Because, as you can see, this room is packed with Death Knights, a fiend, and a lone zombie guarding a button. Gotta add, Look at those windows. Very nice decor for this room. Okay, grab the pickups here, ride the elevator up, and just go straight in. You might want to maintain some distance to save your armor, since the pentagram doesn't protect your armor stack. And for this corner, make use of the grenade launcher. I love that sound. Pressing the button, we hear the sound of a barrier moving. The way is open in the prior hall. Be mindful of the fiend around the corner. It was guarding a button. We press it, the third floor is accessible. Back to the elevator. Also, just want to point out this corner of the hall. The openings in the floor, if we missed the Penta and Mega Health, we'd be able to see it down here. Encouragement to look for that secret if you missed it. Next floor, we won't have a Penta, so we may experience some pain up ahead. And Romero signifies that with some interesting trim texture in the elevator shaft. Bloody limbs and bones stuffed into these openings in the wall. Are the insides of these walls filled with this? An ogre awaits at the top. Behind it, a thunderbolt. Which, by the way, notice we haven't used that weapon yet? We need to save cell ammo for the finale of this map. But while we have lots of Death Knights and Fiends ahead, there are lots of nail ammo boxes, rockets and nails. An excellent combo. We go up the elevator to the third floor. Super nails the ogre in the face. Pick up the thunderbolt, but immediately swap to the super nail gun and turn this fiend into a pincushion. Plenty of distance down this hall. Send some rockets at the upcoming Death Knights. And the fiend guarding the gold key struggles up this ramp. Take it out. This is probably my favorite floor of this section in the map. Just a fun set of combat encounters throughout this hall leading to the gold key. Okay, the gold key awaits us. Upon grabbing it, the barrier to our left opens up. We even get a nice balcony view of the second floor below us. We pass through the barrier and find ourselves at the original hallway from the central bridge area. We haven't changed the bridge state though, so let's go back down the elevator and backtrack our way to the gold door on the first floor. Love it. Each of these floors are stacked above each other, with areas weaving into each other and reconnecting the player back in a loop. Back at the gold door, let's open it. A fiend aggroes as the door slowly lowers. Send some grenades over to do some damage. The gold door lowered, we get some supplies, and also see a familiar contraption. One of those rectangular switches. I do love these stained glass features in this room, but aren't we underground? Who knows, this is the realm of black magic anyways. Stock up and activate the mechanism. The center bridge has changed. Let's head back to the starting elevator in this area. Return to the central hub, and the bridge has now shifted, giving us access to the Mega Health Archway. This is it. Romero sent us through two wings of this fortress, each with their own unique design layouts, hunting down mechanisms that would eventually lead us to this final moment. The crucified zombie hints at the pain to come. The zombie in the back here acts as a distraction for a terrible eldritch creature. The Shambler. Best tactic, get close and dip back to avoid its slashes while using the super nail gun. You don't want to get zapped at range with its thunder. Good thing we picked up a Mega Health, because this is the Oubliette, in my opinion. As we slowly descend on this platform, the bloody demonic reliefs on the sides of the walls grin at us. A nail trap activates. A fiend teleports in. Close quarters combat with a fiend is dangerous. As we keep descending, another wave of enemies spawn in. A small grouping of zombies. Do your best to create some distance in these tight quarters and take them out with rockets. Eventually, the elevator stops, and one of the walls begins to slowly slide back, revealing a horrific abomination. A Vore, or Shalrath, is a spider-esque creature with 3 legs, 2 arms, a head with no visible eyes, and a grotesque mouth of many teeth, framed by 2 pincher-like appendages. It throws violet spiked pods that will constantly track their target until they hit something, exploding and causing significant damage. The Vore can be recognized by the otherworldly ululating noise it makes as soon as it notices an enemy. The stuff of nightmares, but our Thunderbolt destroys nightmares, so let's use it here. We hose them with thunder, and if one of their purple pods comes flying towards you, retreat to the central pillar in the elevator room and use it to block them. If that doesn't work, a little explosion won't kill you, right? With the Vores defeated, the central pillar lowers to reveal the rune of black magic. It stands on a metal pedestal, waiting for you to grab it. A small jump up, we acquire the rune, and the barrier to the portal ahead lowers. Looks like our exit. We step through, scoreboard on screen. We get a glimpse of that central bridge hub with its branching archway paths. As is tradition when finishing an episode, we get a congratulatory message. The rune of black magic throbs evilly in your hand and whispers dark thoughts into your brain. You learn the inmost lore of the Hellmother, Shub-Niggurath. You now know that she is behind all the terrible plotting which has led to so much death and horror. But she is not inviolate. Armed with this rune, you realize that once all 4 runes are combined, the gate to Shub-Niggurath's pit will open, and you can face the witch goddess herself in her frightful otherworld cathedral. Upon continuing, we find ourselves back at the starting hub of Quake. First 2 episodes blocked off, finished. With only 2 more to go, we proceed to the 3rd episode, the Netherworld. Primal fear in a strange dimension. Lava, metal, and runic markings hint at what's to come. Probably my favorite episode, which we'll cover in a future video. So here's the part where I go over some quick trivia regarding our featured map. This map was referred as JRDUNGN during development. It may have been the first dungeon-themed map Romero created for Quake. Should add for context that Quake was originally intended to be an action first-person RPG of sorts. So maybe this map could have existed in a bigger world of connected maps. And on that note, this map originally featured a large watery cavern before the starting room that we experience in the shipped version of the original game. This was the actual Oubliette. Unfortunately, Romero had to remove it because the final compiled map was too large to fit on a floppy disk, which was their primary way of sharing files back in the day. This section was later released by Romero himself as E2M10, the lost entrance to the Dismal Oubliette, back in June 23rd of 2001, though it wasn't incorporated to the rest of E2M6. But it has been properly added to the Quake remaster. It really is a pleasant surprise when you first load up this map and get to experience this new beginning area during your first playthrough of the game. If you felt like the corridors were a little too tight in the tower area with the central elevator, John Romero feels the same. The corridors around the elevator leading to the Gold Key are a good example of miscalculating visual space due to the differences of Quake and Doom. This caused the corridors to feel very cramped and dangerous. John knew that the scale was wrong even on release, but he didn't have time to fix it. On a different note, there are some slight differences between the PC and Nintendo 64 versions of this map. Fiends, Scrags, and Shamblers were removed. In their place are more Ogres, Death Knights, and Vores. On Hard or Nightmare, an additional 8 Vores were added to replace 5 Shamblers. And the geometry of the archways in that central hub were removed. Speaking of those archways, there's a big skip on this map. The archways make it a little hard to rocket jump across to the final elevator shaft from that central bridge. But it is possible. With the right angle and the right trajectory, you can clear that gap, so long as you have the rocket launcher. Though, you still have to deal with that slow elevator, which I'm sure speedrunners just hate. There is a sort of funny trick though. You can just wait at the top ledge where the mega health is as the elevator finishes its descent. Just toss some nades down and kill any ads from that distance, and all you have to do is survive the fall and the 2 Vores at the end. Gotta go fast, right? And the last bit of trivia, the final boss encounter doesn't quite hit as hard as Kithan from episode 1. That was due to time constraints. Romero instead recreated a final boss encounter that he had designed for the first episode of Doom. If you remember, it's the 2 Barons of Hell, or as I like to call them, the Bruiser Brothers. In Quake, we get 2 Vores at the bottom of the elevator. Bruiser Sisters? So, what makes E2M6, the Dismal Oubliette, a great map? It is a masterclass in progressive level design, offering a memorable challenge that concludes John Romero's episode 2. It introduces a central hub that forces the player to engage with 2 distinct complex wings of the map, an underground fortress and a multi-level tower. The experience is just an amazing sequence of exploration while hunting down triggers, all while providing intense close quarters combat. The player is constantly progressing, with each section presenting a unique spatial puzzle. And once you solve it, which usually results in activating a set of switches, alters the central area and grants access to the next challenge. From the ogre-filled fortress to the claustrophobic, enemy-packed corridors of the tower, E2M6 is always challenging the player's skills and weapon management, forcing quick thinking in tight spots. Finally, the map delivers a perfect finale for the episode. The Oubliette, as I like to call it, I know it's the original Oubliette section was cut from the map, which is now in the remaster. But I do think that the elevator pit serves as one as well. It's slow, it's filled with traps, enemies spawning as the elevator is descending. It's a moment of pure tension, and it ends with the introduction of a terrifying enemy, the Vore. Not just one, but 2, guarding the rune of black magic. Despite the development challenges and constraints, Romero created a tightly structured and iconic level that still holds up today and remains a memorable experience in Quake. What are your thoughts on E2M6, the Dismal Oubliette? Was the struggle real in those tight corridors? And did you survive the slow elevator ride your first time? Sound off in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe for more great gaming content. And if you're looking for more, check out this recommended video right here. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.